Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over how you can make millions of dollars this week in Grand Theft Auto Online, primarily using the weekly bonuses that we've got this week. Drop a like on the video if it helps you out and consider subscribing. Getting started as usual, we're going to begin with the weekly challenge, which this week is a little bit tougher because you're going to need to be in someone else's CEO for about 45 minutes in total. And that's because the challenge is to make $100,000 by being an associate or bodyguard for a CEO. CEO and bodyguard salaries are on 4 times money this week, carrying over from last week. So instead of $10,000 every 10 to 15 minutes, you're going to be getting $40,000 every 10 to 15 minutes. And it's a relatively easy and simple challenge, but again, you're going to need another player to be registered as the CEO in order to get this done. So it's a little bit annoying. However, if you are able to do this, you're going to make $220,000, which isn't too shabby, and you can potentially make even more because this ties into the best money bonus going on this week in GTA Online, which we'll get into later in the video. Now, we also have a bonus on the Cayo Perico heist effectively this week, and that is that the pink diamond has an increased chance of spawning as your main heist loot this week, and the pink diamond is the second most valuable loot behind the Panther statue. The diamond is valued at $1,300,000 on normal difficulty or $1,430,000 on hard mode. Now, it's definitely going to be worth trying to get this week, and honestly, depending on the increase in the spawn rate, this might be the best money bonus this week effectively. However, Rockstar hasn't specified what the increased chance to find the pink diamond is, so it's kind of hard to say. Regardless, I think that you should be doing the Cayo Perico heist this week and trying to get yourself the pink diamond as the main heist loot. We have some new stunt races and some returning stunt races this week as well, with the Lunar New Year themed stunt races. Now, some of these, again, like I said, have been added back to GTA Online, but we do have a new one this week as well. And these are obviously added back to celebrate the Chinese New Year, and they're paying triple money and triple RP for the remainder of the week. Now, in a race with only 4 players out of a possible 16, doing 3 laps, taking less than 8 minutes to complete the race, I was able to make $40,000 for placing first, which is pretty good. Now, I always like to mention it when I do these videos, that when races are on bonus money like this, the more players you have and the longer the race takes to complete are the biggest factors that determine how much money you can make from racing. Obviously, where you place in the race also matters significantly as well, but if you're a decent driver, you're probably going to do fairly well, and you can make some good money by doing these triple money and triple RP races. We also have triple money and RP on Deadline Duet again this week. Now, the winning team can expect to make upwards of $200,000 for a full game, potentially even more depending on if the opposing team puts up a good fight. Now, this is limited to 4 players, meaning you're going to need exactly 4 people to play this in the first place, so do keep that in mind. But potentially the best money bonus of the week ties into what we were talking about earlier with the CEO associate salaries being on 4 times money, and it ties in with the CEO VIP work because that this week is also on 4 times money and RP, meaning that missions like Headhunter, Sightseer, Piracy Prevention, and all of the other missions under the Work tab in the CEO interaction menu will be paying pretty ridiculous amounts of money this week. For example, Headhunter this week is going to be paying between $80,000 and $100,000 each time you complete it, and it can take as little as 3 minutes to take out all 4 targets as a solo player. Sightseer this week will pay between $85,000 to $125,000 every time you do it, and it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to finish every time. Piracy Prevention will take 10 minutes, and it's going to pay $120,000 upon completion. However, there is a bit of a problem with these missions, and that is the fact that in between there will be a 5-minute cooldown where you cannot launch the next CEO work mission, which of course reduces how much money you can make pretty significantly doing this method. Now, despite this, as a solo player, I was able to make $316,000 in just under half an hour, and that was running several different missions, some of which paid worse than others. For example, I would advise avoiding Hostile Takeover, as it only paid me about $60,000 for completing the mission, which is pretty weak compared to Headhunter, for example. Only there wasn't a cooldown on these missions because it could be so much better. Now, getting back to what I was meaning about the weekly challenge this week, and being that you need to spend some time in somebody else's CEO to get that $100,000 weekly challenge bonus. You can potentially make significantly more while doing this if the CEO of your organization is activating headhunters, sightseer, and the rest of the VIP or CEO work missions. Because not only are you going to be getting $40,000 every 10 to 15 minutes from your associate salary, you're also going to get the full payout for a headhunter, sightseer, or any other CEO work mission while you're in somebody else's CEO organization. So combining the two actually does make this one of the best ways to make money in GTA Online this week. However, the unfortunate part is that the CEO themselves won't get as much out of it as their associates will. Something else I wanted to mention is that this week the LS Car Meet prize ride is really easy to win. You're only going to have to place top 2 in an LS Car Meet series race one time to get the Lampadati Corsita, a $1.7 million sports car. It's a fun one to drive, and it's absolutely worth trying to win this week. If you have a friend, I would suggest hopping in an LS Car Meet Series race with them and simply finishing it, and you're both going to get a free $1.7 million sports car. The HSW time trial this week is going to be Textile City to Stab City. It's an easy one to win. You're simply going to head up the highway past the casino. You're going to cross over to the other side of the highway and go down the road that passes by Martin Madrazo's ranch. Now you're simply going to bomb down there for a bit. You're going to go through Harmony, and you're going to go near the Alamo Sea Coke lockup. You're going to turn across the bridge, and boom, you're pretty much there, and that's an easy $251,000 for you this week. As always, source your CEO cargo, supply your businesses, do your daily stash houses, and everything else like that. Consider exporting your mixed goods from your CEO office and doing your ammunition delivery through the bunker every week. Now, if you want to make even more money this week in online, consider joining our Discord server linked in the description of this video and joining our corresponding crews. We have a console crew and a PC crew that you guys are going to be able to join, and you're going to be able to get 50% high demand bonuses while in a crew session with like-minded people. It's a really good way to make some additional money this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it helped you out and that you can use it to make millions of dollars this week in GTA. Leave a like, consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Peace.